أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in his beloved book, and hold fast all together to the rope of Allah, and be not divided among yourselves. Ramadan is a month of worship, a month of growth, and a month where we all come together as a community. During this uncertain and stressful time, our centers may be empty, but our hearts are full. We are still connected as a community through our memories, our prayers, and our bond as brothers and sisters. This Ramadan, while we worship at home, let us continue to support the growth of our community center, MCMC. Now, more than ever, our institution needs us. It is time to come together. Support your masjid. Donate today.
Social distancing will change significantly how Muslims observe the holy month. Shut down mosques mean the faithful will no longer be able to gather together to engage in nightly prayer and to break fast at sunset. Those that rely on the food they receive at the mosque to break fast will also suffer.
Heading into work today, and it just hit me. I miss you. MCMC to me has always been my home away from home. It's the place where my love of Islam grew. It's the place that when I was at Rutgers and there was stress of work and stress of school, I could always rely on MCMC to be that place to give me a sense of peace, a sense of sukoon. And so with Ramadan coming in just a few days, it's hitting me that I miss my community more than ever. The iftars, the tarawih, the jummas, the lectures. Ramadan is a reminder of what community means, and MCMC has been the setting of that for so many reasons. So I was thinking, why shouldn't that still be the case? Why can't we make this the best Ramadan yet? Go to mcmcnj.org to learn how we'll do it. Every day, a reminder of what we stand for and an adhan to break our fast with, live on YouTube and Facebook. This Ramadan, let's have iftar together.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in to Ramadan Stars once again. I hope you and your families are doing really well, and I hope your fasts are going well as well. So today, our topic is called the boycott. And if you don't know what that word means, don't worry, have no fear. I'm going to explain to you what that word means. So let's actually talk about the current scene in Mecca right now. So you've been probably following along the story, right? The story of the Prophet ﷺ. And what I'm going to be talking about today is a lead up or a build up to everything you've been listening in the past. So today I'm going to test some of your skills if you've been actually listening, okay? So first of all, right now, the story I'm about to tell you, right before all these events happen, two of the most famous or popular people in Mecca have accepted Islam. So can anyone actually tell me who these people are? And you should know because yesterday, this was mentioned in the talk, and so you really should know. So I'm waiting. Parents, if you're at home, please allow your children to comment or you can comment for them. So name the two famous popular people who accepted Islam. And I see we have a lot of people on our live chat today. So I hope to hear from you. Okay, so the two people, I'm looking for names, right? First was Umar radiallahu anhu, and the second was Hamza radiallahu anhu, right? And these were two popular people. They were leaders, and so when they became Muslim, right, it was a shock to many people, and also a lot of the Muslims and the Prophet ﷺ was really happy because they had a lot of influence and power, right? So I know SA7191 guessed right, Afif guessed right, so nice job. During this time, a group of Muslims, right, also go to Abyssinia, which right now, if you look at the map, there's really no Abyssinia, it's called Ethiopia. And they go there and they receive support from the king, okay? So these two things are happening. How do you think this makes the leaders of the Quraysh and Abu Jahl feel? Remember, Abu Jahl hates Muslims, hates the Prophet ﷺ, wants no success for them. How do you think they're feeling? And let's support one another in the comments, okay? If someone gets the answer correct, let's say good job to them, okay? Let's lift each other up. Absolutely. So someone put an angry face. Someone said not happy, someone said mad, and you were absolutely right. Abu Jahl was furious, he was angry. He said, I'm trying to do whatever I can to stop these people, but somehow Islam keeps growing, right? Remember, he tortured a lot of the Muslims. If you were here tuning into the episodes in the past, you probably remember the story of Bilal radiallahu anhu and Sumayya radiallahu anha, who were abused and hurt just because of practice Islam by people, right? So Abu Jahl is furious that how come they're still having success? And so what he does is he plots and he plans. And he takes all the other leaders of the Quraysh who had influence and power and who also were not happy with what was happening. And they gather around the Kaaba, because remember, the Kaaba was like, you could say like the living room of the house, you could say, or like the main place where everyone would gather to talk about big ideas and also explain news. And so they gather on the Kaaba and they start talking, and they're saying, what can we do to make, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stop? And they decide, and this is like in daylight, they're just talking in general. They don't care if anyone can hear them. They say, you know what? The only way we can stop him is by killing him. So they say, you know what? We're going to kill him. But they think, okay, if one of us kills him, guess what? Because we're tribes here, right? And we're leaders here, his followers or other people or even family members of the Prophet are gonna, start wars on us, or they're gonna hurt us. And they're gonna blame us. So it can't be one of us. So they decide we'll actually hire someone from outside, don't worry, to kill him. And so they said they would like get a hitman, for example. And what they decide to do is they said, well, Abu Talib is the Prophet's uncle, and he's always protecting the Prophet, right? He's always there for him. And so we really can't get to Muhammad until we get to Abu Talib. We have to tell him, hey, just hand him over to us, okay? So they go to Abu Talib and they tell him you have to give us the Prophet, right? Hand him over to us. I know you've been protecting him, you've been trying to save him, because let us do whatever we want with him. And if you don't, we're gonna cut you off. None of us will allow you to get food or water. And you're probably wondering, how did they do this, right? How could they just not give him food or water? Can't Abu Talib just go to the store and get his own food and water? Well, not really, because all the leaders of the Quraysh, and even Abu Jahl, they owned a lot of the businesses and they had a lot of power, right? So they would tell the other store owners, don't give anything to Abu Jahl, and they would scare them. Don't give anything to Abu Talib, and they would scare, the shopkeepers. A lot of them owned the businesses too, so they wouldn't let Abu Talib, right, get any food or water from them or buy anything from them. So they made this threat. They said, either you give us the Prophet, you give us your nephew, or we're not giving you any food or water, we're not letting you buy or trade from us, none of that. And Abu Talib listens. What do you think he decides to do? Let me know in the comments. What do you think he decides to do? Do you think he decides to give up the Prophet because he's worried about his health and his family? Or do you think he stays steadfast and says, nope, I'm not giving the Prophet to you? What do you think? Okay, someone said he protects him. Someone says he says no. Anyone think otherwise? I mean, come on. Abu Talib won't get any thing to drink, anything to eat. He might even go days starving if this takes place. What do you think? Suleiman says he goes and speaks to the Prophet. Okay. So you guys are correct. You all are smart cookies. Abu Talib rejects them, right? He says no. He said, there's no way you're getting my nephew. I will protect him with whatever it takes. And what Abu Talib decides to do, because he knows, Abu Jahl and all these leaders are pretty much threatening the Muslims, and they're ready to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He goes to the Prophet, he tells him, what's going on. And he also talks to the other supporters. So he talks to Prophet Muhammad's family, he talks to his supporters, even people who aren't Muslims, but who, feel bad for the Muslims. He talks to them and who think that Muslims should be able to practice freely. He talks to them, he says, look, we're not safe here, right? We're not safe. And there's an order for the Prophet Muhammad to be killed. And so, you know what? I have this piece of land that I own it's a valley, and it's like far away from Mecca. It's called Shab Abu Talib, right? It's like a land that I own. And you know what? No one will really bother us there. I think we should go there for a while until things settle down and things, get better. Because if we stay here, right, either the Prophet is going to get attacked and killed, and you all will get hurt too. And so the Prophet agrees. And they go to this valley, which is a little bit further away from the middle of Mecca, right? And so they go there, and the Prophet's family comes along. So Khadija radiallahu anha, right? And so does any of his supporters. Okay, so people even who weren't Muslim but wanted to show solidarity, wanted to show like, this is not right. We don't want the Prophet being attacked, so we'll go with you. Okay. So Abu Talib does this, but meanwhile, Abu Jahl is still not happy. He finds out that they're going to this remote area, right? And he decides to write this treaty and this pact, right? This this paper with like all these new rules. And the treaty says, you know what? No one's going to have contact with the Muslims or even the supporters of the Muslims. So they're all in this valley, right? Guess what? Well, no one's allowed to go there. No one's allowed to give them food, water. No one's allowed to sell to them, trade with them. No one's allowed to marry anyone of them. No one's allowed to visit them or socialize them. They are banished, right? So they pretty much boycotted them. So the word boycott means when you stop buying or selling from a certain group so that it harms them. So what he wanted to do is Abu Jahl was so terrible, he wanted to harm the Muslims even further. So now they're far away, but guess what? They can't get food and water. They can't come inside to Mecca. And Abu Jahl banned everyone from doing that, okay? So this actually causes a really, really difficult time in the Prophet's life as well as the people, right? A lot of the Muslims and even the supporters who were in the valley, right, they had to rely on rainwater. Okay, so imagine just, you know, having no water for days, right? Do you know the feeling how it's like when you fast? I know some of you have done half-day fast or full fast, mashallah, right? You know the feeling when your mouth is parched and dry and and sometimes you're so thirsty, you just like gargle some water to get some moisture, right? Imagine, you know, the Muslims at that time and the Prophet ﷺ in the valley, in the heat, in the desert, outside, right, with tents, and the only thing they could drink is rainwater because no one's bringing water. And there's no food except for maybe some plants that they take and maybe they like try to cook up and eat. And the only food they get is like after some weeks, someone would secretly in Mecca who would feel bad for them, secretly come with the camel and give them some food, come with bags of food if they were lucky. Right? And so imagine this. This causes a lot of people to unfortunately die from hunger, right? And from weakness. And there were, you know, unfortunately you could hear, right, women and children crying in the middle of the night because they didn't have food. And all because Abu Jahl started this boycott. So there were so many innocent people dying, right, because of this. And everyone was on alert too. Everyone was worried about the Prophet. They were still worried someone might come and attack the Prophet. So Abu Talib, what he would do is he would have guards. So in the middle of the night, right, people would be on shifts trying to take guard to make sure no one, right, would come into the tents. And what Abu Talib would also do is that he would make the Prophet switch places, go from tent to tent, right, so that no one would know where he was sleeping exactly. And if someone was trying to attack, that they wouldn't know exactly where the Prophet was. So just imagine being on high alert, right? So you're not getting any proper rest, and then you don't have food and water. Imagine how that would feel like. It would be really hard and really terrible. Okay. And so what ends up happening is years pass, okay? And actually, a lot of the people in Mecca, some of the people started having sympathy, right? What's sympathy? When you feel bad for someone, when you start realizing, maybe I could help them. And some people who weren't Muslim, who are in Mecca, they realized, wow, what we're doing is wrong. What Abu Jahl is doing is wrong. You know, I kind of want to trade with these people. Look at all these babies dying because of hunger, because we're not trading with them. We're not giving them food. We're not giving them water. This is wrong, right? And so some of the leaders start questioning Abu Jahl. They start saying, Abu Jahl, why did you even make this treaty in the first place, right? These are our people. They used to live with us. They used to be our friends. Why are we starving them? This is wrong, right? Don't you hear the women and children crying? And so this is happening, but Abu Jahl says, no, this is a good idea. And it becomes so difficult. The Prophet ﷺ, right, makes dua. He makes dua and he asks Allah, like, you know, relieve us from this stress and this hardship. And eventually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Prophet ﷺ that actually the treaty has been eaten by termites and ants. And if you go there and check, the only words that remain are any mention of Allah. Because remember, the Quraysh and the people of Mecca, it's not that they didn't believe in Allah at all. They believed in Allah, but they also worshipped other gods besides Allah, right? So they believed in other idols and whatnot. And so this was astonishing. So the Prophet ﷺ told Abu Talib this, right? And he told Abu Talib, he said, look, if you go back there and talk to them and tell them that this is what Allah has said. So Abu Talib asked the Prophet, this is from your Lord? And the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, this is from my Lord. So Abu Talib decides, that's it. I'm ending this once and for all. I'm going to go to the Quraysh and I'm going to tell them, look at your treaty. It's been eaten. And guess what? There's a miracle, right? There's a miracle that it's been eaten by termites and ants. And the only words remaining are any mention of Allah. So Abu Talib, he goes and he actually is so confident, right? So confident that he makes up this, this deal. So the treaty is actually locked inside the Kaaba. So they used to, back in the day, when they used to make big announcements or they want to hang something like a newspaper, if you will, right? They would take it, they would hang it inside the Kaaba or outside of it. And so the treaty is inside. So no one has seen it since it's been hung for the past 2 years or 2 years and a half. And Abu Talib makes this deal. He comes to Abu Jahl and all the Quraysh, and they think they're giving up, right? They think that Abu Talib is going to bring the Prophet ﷺ. But Abu Talib comes and says, look, I'm not here to give you my nephew. I'm not here to give you Muhammad ﷺ. What I am here is to make a deal. Muhammad ﷺ tells me that his Lord said that the treaty you guys wrote, if you take it out of the Kaaba, it's been eaten up by termites, and the only thing that's remaining is Allah's name. And if that is true, guess what? If that is true, then you will let us return peacefully. And if it's not true, fine, I'll hand over the Prophet, right? I'll hand him over to you. So he was super confident. What do you think happens with this deal? What do you think happens when Abu Jahl and all the other leaders of the Quraysh take out the treaty? What do they find? Ooh, the treaty is eaten. That's what from Benny's creation. The treaty is eaten. Nice. Yeah, you all are correct. The treaty is eaten. And the only words remaining, subhanallah, right, are Allah's name. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that an amazing miracle? And so Abu Jahl, and he's astonished and he's so angry. And some say, oh, Muhammad's a magician. But there's a lot of people who start saying, wow, this Muhammad ﷺ, right, he is truly a prophet. There is something about him, right? And they realize. And so the Muslims came home, and the Prophet ﷺ finally came home to Mecca. And so this is really where our story ends, right? There's some lessons to be learned. The first is you should always stand up for truth and justice, right? You have to remember that people who were not even Muslim were trying to help the Muslims because they were in trouble, right? When the Muslims were in the valley, and the supporters were in the valley, there were some people from Mecca who were secretly giving food and water to them. There were some people who were asking Abu Jahl, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this, right? They were standing up to the bully, because Abu Jahl was a huge bully at this time. So what I want you guys to remember is when you see someone in trouble or someone being bullied, stand up for them. Stand up for them no matter who they are, right? Whether they're Muslim or not Muslim, because what Islam tells us is that as humans, we have to help each other. So when someone's being a little rude in the comment section on YouTube, call them out, tell them that's not nice, right? When someone is tripping someone over, or someone is taking someone's food or water away from them, right? You stand up and tell them that's not right, because that's what real Muslims do, okay? So you do have a questionnaire to fill out. You have until tomorrow at 4 p.m. and you can log on to mcmcnj.org/RamadanStars/ to answer. So our 3 questions are, number 1, who took responsibility and made sure the Prophet ﷺ was being protected during the boycott? Okay. Number 2, what does the word boycott mean? And number 3, what miracle caused the boycott to end? Okay. We'd also love to see your wonderful faces and hear your beautiful voices reciting the Quran or doing the azan. So if you can do that, it would be great. And please send it to mcmcnj.org/RamadanStars to see yourself featured. Also, please consider donating during this blessed time. If you like these programs, if you watch these programs, you want to donate to the masjid that makes this all possible. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy during this time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.